Okay, the time is now 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this Town of Plainfield Board of Selectmen meeting to order for July 13th. Ask you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and roll call.
Mike Supra.
Kevin Cunningham.
Tom Zigglitz.
Item C, approved meeting minutes from the Board of Select meeting from 6/22/26.
The only thing is in it, under new business, item number 3, that says consider and act on approving the town logo policy. Mike made a motion to approve the town road policy, seconded by Tom. That should be changed to the town road policy.
And then that item would have been taken.
So it's actually the town logo policy. It should have been tabled.
Right, should have been noted.
So we can straight structure it for it to say that.
Correct.
Okay. Motion to table town road policy. Seconded by Tom. Motion passed unanimous. Okay?
Correct.
Right. So with that motion, with the modification, you okay?
I'll make that motion with the modifications.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item D, public comment. Anybody here from the public wish to speak? If so, please, this is the time.
I do, Naomi Smith. So I was reviewing the selectmen's agenda for tonight, and I'm not quite sure if you could explain number 1. It says discuss and act on the roles and responsibilities of the capital governance framework. So are you just discussing A, B, and 2 tonight, or are you discussing the capital strategic policy?
Okay.
I wasn't sure how,
Alright.
because the way it's worded a little funky.
It's number 1, A and B.
Just A and B.
Yep.
Okay,
And the
perfect.
the other one is also, it was tabled from before, so
Gotcha.
separate.
Okay, so, with that being said, then, the capital non-recurring fund policy, I'm still not understanding how the Board of Selectmen is going to vote on a policy when we don't have a capital non-recurring reserve. The Board of Finance has to create that, and it has to go to the legislative body. Then it would appear, or seem that in following suit, the Board of Selectmen would enact a policy. So that's what I'm not understanding. Why this policy's come up before the Board of Finance has had an opportunity to create the fund. So in Connecticut's General State Statute 7360, it says the creation of a fund. Upon the recommendation and approval of the budget-making authority, the legislative body of any municipality by a major vote may create a reserve fund for capital and non-recurring expenditures. Costs associated with property tax, and it goes on with that portion of it. So my understanding of that is that falls under the Board of Finance to create that fund and then send it to the legislative body for approval to create that. But we haven't done that yet.
When we get to that point, we'll have Lisa explain more in detail.
Okay. And I did look on the paperwork that Lisa presented from our last Board of Finance meeting, where it shows on here. Hold on. The stiff capital non-recurring, but that is not the same thing as a non-recurring reserve, from what I'm reading. So I'm a little confused on that. They're very different, I found here. It says here, Connecticut Municipal Finance Capital Non-Recurring generally refers to the capital and non-recurring expenditure CNR fund. Under state law, this is specifically defined as a non-recurring capital expenditure of $100,000 or more. The term STIF often refers to the short-term investment fund, which is managed by the state treasurer for municipalities to invest their operating cash. So it goes on how the municipalities fall in alignment with that, so I'm not really understanding that. I still think it's a new creation of a fund. I did review the letter from both the auditor and the town attorney. Shows nothing about the creation of the CNR, it only talks about moving the money. provide those if needed for anybody. And then the procurement policy, I reviewed, for the policy, it says Charter 2425, 10.2, 10.4, which I'm in agreement, nothing in any of that portion of the charter discusses the procurement and staying in alignment with it perfect. However, in Charter 9.5 under procurement, it clearly states that the Board of Finance sets the amount annually. It says even that we shall. So I'm not understanding that either.
Within 12 months, I think it says.
Annually.
Yep.
We're supposed to do that, so I'm concerned is the procurement policy with the prices being set, actually overriding our charter and the 9.5 procurement policy portion of it. I don't know if we've gotten any legal instruction on that.
We will get to that when she's able to speak on it.
Okay. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, thank you.
And then I'm not done yet. And then it says, discuss and act on approving purchase and installation of a highway truck lift. If approved, this item will be sent to the Board of Finance for their input. I know the chair and the vice chair both were in alignment with us wanting reports from OSHA as far as the lift was concerned. And I know as a Board of Finance member, I haven't received anything. I did go ahead and send FOIA requests to both you, Mr. Cunningham, our finance director, and the department heads involved with the OSHA violations. I haven't received anything back, so I did email you a follow-up this morning, and I also went ahead and submitted a FOIA request to the OSHA, and on the same date, and I spoke with a very nice lady there this morning. My request is in progress from them, but she said if I submitted it to you, she wasn't sure why nothing had been returned. So hopefully we can get that resolved. And some of them, from what I'm seeing on the OSHA website, if I take the time to actually individually Google search the citation codes, I can find them, but it's very, very time consuming. And I don't think I should have to do that when I, in good faith, submitted a request 30 days ago. So hopefully we'll get somewhere with that. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wish to speak tonight?
Hi, Linda Stravens. I wanted to know about the ECC building up there. Who's keeping up the grounds? I know it got mowed, but it looks like crap. And I wondered who is responsible for, I don't know, trimming the shrubs and stuff like that. And, I mean, it is a town-owned building, and I think it should look a lot better than what it does.
I agree with you there. I can talk to you afterwards on that. The issues, we have one maintenance staff right now, we're hiring another one for outside.
Another one? Okay. And then I was looking to see about a recording secretary for the Capital Strategic Planning Committee. There's always a lot of information there, and I've been acting as the recording secretary, but I didn't know if there's a way to get like one to do it for us, so.
Again, we'll follow up that after the meeting, if that's okay?
Okay, that was it.
Joe Sangamano, hey, this seal thing that's going on, was there a complaint made from somebody on that?
On what, sorry?
The seal.
Oh, yes.
Do we know who it was? Can
Sure.
we find out who it is?
Yeah.
Will you tell us who it was?
Well, that would be up to that person to step forward and say something.
Or is she here in this room? How hard did you do that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
That wasn't the only
Speak on that,
person,
don't worry.
And that wasn't the only person, there was a second person. But I won't, I
Joel?
won't that name because I didn't ask them.
Alright, just wondering.
Okay, anybody else from the
Yeah.
public wish to speak?
Art Gagnon. Good to see you back here. You mentioned in your last meeting about all the items being tabled lately. You've had 16 meetings since being elected. 20 items were tabled in that time. You've set a precedent twice. And you have the opportunity tonight to fix one of those. I'd like to set the record straight on that item. A backstory first. About 5 years ago, I met Kevin at the command center at Central Village Fire Department. During a tropical storm, we took his car on a call to Green Hollow Road for a downed tree across the road. When we arrived, there was a man on the side. Kevin got out and spoke to him. I observed that the man didn't know him. On the way back, I asked why he didn't put magnetic logo signs on his doors so people would know he's an official. He gave me the same answer he has given our current selectman. It would be a liability on a private vehicle. I accepted that answer. I questioned Tom's use of the logos on his vehicle as soon as I saw them in November. I was just trying to help without making a big deal. Perhaps he didn't know the unwritten policy. Kevin spoke with him. He told me Tom said it was a joke by his fellow workers. And I saw the logos again and again, and I see them tonight. I kept asking about it. I did. That's set for the record. It was me. It's sad that it takes so much to find out that the town really does need this policy. And I would ask that the board pass all these policies that have been delayed. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak?
Yeah, I just reestablished residence back in Plainfield. It's been a while. Welcome back. Part here, part elsewhere, but a few things kind of led to that. One of which was obviously what happens here affects people in other towns. One thing, and I should have done this a lot sooner, when town retained council had particular views of whether or not I'd be weighing in an election that was occurring in a town that I had moved out of. And I thought, you know what? That should have been the time I did what I've decided to do today, but I've decided to do what I've done today because some things, quite frankly, they affect too many people, and this is a town I grew up in and I love, and teamwork makes the dream work, but unfortunately, what I came to learn about, one thing that's on this agenda today with the town logo issue, I got up to speed on it pretty quickly, and it just seemed to be one of those things that just plain smelled of selective enforcement. One thing that's always saddened me is you can respectfully disagree with somebody. You don't even have to like them, but you can still work with them. But there are just some things where I've just decided enough is enough. I had to come back. I had to reestablish residency. And now I'm gonna have to do a whole bunch of First Amendment protected activities. One of which will include a petition for a referendum. And we're gonna make some changes. It's good to see you all again, and I've missed you so much. Oh, and the town isn't suing itself. Let's keep up the good work.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak? Okay, hearing none. We can go into the old business, item 1, discussing the act on the roles and responsibilities for capital governance. This was something that was passed out a long time ago to everybody. We have a copy of it. Hopefully you still have that copy. Talking about the governance framework, and then we had already talked about 3 of the policies so far. So tonight we have an opportunity to discuss the other 2, which you do have. First one up is capital non-recurring fund policy. I think during the budget process, we might have renamed that. Might have had another title to it as well, but the same process it should be in place. So Lisa, if you wouldn't mind giving more detail, that would help.
Sure, the idea is to actually establish a process. That's the whole purpose, is to actually have a capital plan and not just pay as you go. Naomi was the one that pointed it out that we did have some time ago and led to research, and thanks to her, we did find some, since 2008 and 2015, You are referring to a bank account when you say STIF, the short-term investment funds. So we do have that. That's not technically the actual fund itself, but it's the bank account, correlated bank account versus the fund. So a CNR has been established prior to, and no one can actually find the documentation. But we do have record that one was prior to established, as well as transferring funds to that account of different dollar amounts by Board of Finance. This has been tabled for well over a decade, and the idea is not to supersede anybody. We've had several Board of Finance meetings, a lot of documentation. We do plan on moving things around with the Board of Finance approval. The idea is that we work together and get things voted on for capital, that it's not just brought up at the budget time for a fund balance item and can actually destroy our budget. It's more strategic where we say X dollar amount is going to go to a capital, and then the town votes one by one on every capital item. So I mean, whether you want to table it till after the Board of Finance, this is a policy to get it in place. This isn't moving money yet. This isn't voting on anything. This is giving structure so we can actually try to move forward and do things collaboratively with Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance, and the town. So it's not trying to supersede anybody. This is trying to get us all to work together and get it more cohesive.
And that would be the capital non-recurring.
Capital non-recurring.
Yep. I guess the question for me would be the naming.
Well, if you don't fund it, the policy just sits there. So it's a moot point. You can create the policy, have it established in place, and then if they decide not to call it that, it doesn't matter.
I like it. We need a plan. I think you're right. We need a set plan of what we're gonna spend the money, just like the procurement policy. I'm all for it. I'm all about it. My only problem with it is,
Call it just capital then.
Page 17, section 9.5, A and B says that the Board of Finance will set those numbers. I think the numbers that you put in here are today's standards of numbers in front of the procurement policy. I like the procurement policy, but I do think that it needs to be checked with the Board of Finance first, and they're the ones that have the governing body over that, and send it back to us. And I don't have a problem actually with either of these, because I think you do need a plan. My problem is that I think we're going about it the wrong way. It needs to go to the Board of Finance, and I've actually talked to a few people about this. I've read this a million times. I think it needs to go to them. I don't know what you're.
Yeah, I spoke to the Board of Finance chair, and I know the meeting was canceled, the regular meeting for this month, but there may be a special one coming up, or it may come up at their next regular meeting in August. But either way, when I talked to her, she said her intent was to have a discussion, possible action, on both the procurement and the CNR. And part of that is because now the Board of Finance members, I believe, all of them have a copy of the town attorney's letter.
Right.
And so, but it would have been nice, obviously, to have that at their June meeting, but of course, at the time, they didn't have it at their June meeting, because then probably we would be at a point where they would have already discussed it, brought up any concern. So, after I talked to her about that, I was comfortable, because of course, I share some similar views with Mike. I think we need to have one final deliberation with the Board of Finance, any other concerns, questions, but if not, then we move them forward. I just want to make sure that we respect, obviously, the opinions of our Board of Finance members. They're there for a reason, check and balance, and so I would like to have one more meeting with them to see their comments and policies, and then we can obviously revisit them.
I like it. I have no changes, no suggestions.
I do want to point, because I only talked about the capital policy, not the procurement.
Yep.
Naomi, the RFP, right in there, it does say that the Charter Board of Finance shall annually establish the amount. So that is in there. This is just saying that the Board of Selectmen is saying anything over 50, they definitely want it. So it's just giving directions, but it is in there about the Board of Finance.
Yeah, and usually once a year, what we've done in the past is the Board of Finance makes a suggestion to, procurement saying, okay, these numbers are okay, or they modify them and move them up or down. Hardly ever down, but in today's economy.
Can I
guess
just
it's
state something real quick? I'm not arguing the points of the policies, I never have.
I know.
So
Yeah.
I want that made clear. My issue is doing things procedurally, process correct. So state statute says Board of Finance creates the fund, legislative body votes to enact it. Why would the Board of Selectmen put a policy in place before the legislative body that says we can have that fund created? And I know you're saying you found it, but unless we can show how it was enacted, we still don't have anything from the attorney stating to use it. He just says transfer money out of the other accounts into the general fund. He never mentions the CNR in his letter.
But if it's restricted capital fund, you'd be okay if it was just capital fund, not capital non-recurring?
I'd be happy if we do the procedure process correct. So I don't know what you got going on now.
They got nothing going on
So
now.
let's let the Board of Finance, I mean, we can call a special meeting. Let them vote a CNR, bring it to a legislative vote, and then come back to the Board of Selectmen and say, okay, give us a policy.
But the legislative vote already approved 300,000 for a capital fund already, through the budget.
But not a CNR, not the
Right,
creation
so
of
if
the
we call it a
fund.
capital
And if you
fund-
remember, I was opposed to doing that until we had a CNR. But
But now we have it in the budget.
you have restricted fund.
So for the purpose of not just debating the issue, I would just say that we have two policies which I think we're okay with, and a procedure going to the Board of Finance first.
Right.
Would that be,
I'm totally clear on that.
so for those two items, we don't want to really continue to table things, I think that we appropriate these two items under the roles and responsibilities for A and B, just to table until after the next Board of Finance meeting when they can vote on it.
Perfect.
A motion for that? I'll make that motion for both.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, discuss and act on town logo policy. We have put this to, continue to put this down the road. The item here is, we've talked about it. We have, a point where we have to act, I would say we should act on this item. We've heard, different opinions on it. I would say that we move this, from the table, from the previous agenda, and then we go forward with a vote.
I disagree. I know Mr. Cunningham did not get back to me. I just will let the public know on anything. I have brought up multiple times, multiple meetings, obviously concerns, asked for clarifications, and I get nothing in between Board of Selectmen meetings. That part has been very frustrating. Mr. Gagnon, of course, has not brought anything to my attention. Obviously, this is the first time he decided to reveal. But it doesn't surprise me because Mr. Gagnon has gone after me for many years as well. Both of them try to gang up on me. But I will be very clear that I will not deal with any type of bullying or harassment from either one of these individuals. I'm amazed at how many people I talk to in the town who say, hey, have you heard what Kevin was saying, about this or Art saying about that? It just amazes me. And, I don't let it get to me, mentally. But the fact that every time I say something, it basically goes in one ear and out the other with Mr. Cunningham, no follow-up. It's getting to the point where it's creating damages. Mr. Cunningham is actually becoming a liability for the town. It's ironic that we're talking about a liability policy, but the reality is he's becoming a liability certainly to me and the town, and the town does not deserve this. This is possibly going to have legal ramifications personally to Mr. Cunningham because of how he's acted. Very unprofessional, by the way, to me personally. And obviously, Mr. Gagnon supports everything about his behavior. I do not, many citizens do not. My phone and my email have been crazy in recent months about this policy because of how unprofessional Mr. Cunningham has been to me. It all originated back to a meeting in December where he tried to bully and intimidate me, and of course, it doesn't work. I'm not going to tolerate, there's a zero tolerance for that, especially for a chief executive officer of a town. In most cases, he would have been fired by now for his conduct, but obviously we're in public service, this is government, so there's a different process for that in government. So very disappointed in you, Mr. Cunningham. Could have gone about this a lot more diplomatically, but you chose to dig yourself a hole and take personal action against me, make this personal and weaponizing, and so there's no way in heck I could see us moving forward with this.
You've said that statement multiple times. Mike, do you have an opinion on this policy?
My opinion about this policy is, I appreciate, your stance on this and letting us know that you made the complaint. You've been using the town seal and the town logo for the last 8 years.
Not on my vehicle. Not on my vehicle.
On your video, not on your vehicle, but on your videos and everything else, and it's been okay.
That's not a liability.
Because you're a rubber stamp, is what you were up at this table, a rubber stamp.
It's not a liability.
Okay, so you know what I think about this town logo policy? I could care less about it.
I couldn't
I'm not
either.
voting for it,
I
I'm
don't
not
care
standing
about
up for it, we're not bullying people.
Exactly.
I don't care about it.
Okay? Because there's one thing that I'll stand up to as a bully.
So we have a motion then to go forward with it or deny it,
Deny it.
and I need to hear a motion.
I'll make a motion deny the town logo policy because it's obviously pointed at one person.
And I second that, especially tonight.
Okay, motion's been made in a second. Any other discussion? Other than I do not feel that way. I do not feel that this is a pointed issue. This is something the insurance company told us is a liability, so that's my opinion. So there's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. All right, new business. I would like to add one item to the new business under item 1 that we have. I did give you that copy
2330.
Yeah.
2342.
for Kevin Brustek.
Yep.
If we would make a motion to add that to the item.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So with that said, the consider and act on the tax refunds as requested by the tax collector totaling it's actually not 72. 9611 for Toyota lease for 7269 and Kevin Brostek for 2342. What's your pleasure?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 What's the name, the second
I
one?
can give you a copy of that.
Oh, sorry about that.
Item 2, discuss and act on approving purchase of installation of highway truck lift. I did give you in your packet.
Thank you.
This was a state bid, for a state bidder. He finally came back with some numbers. So this is service station. And by the way, we actually reached out to other companies. The other company that I reached out to said he's a subcontractor for him, so he would not bid. But this is a state bid for service station equipment. You can see there what the cost of the lift is and also the cost for materials. In order for us to go forward, now that you have a copy of this, I would like to, again, entertain that motion that we approve this, but goes to the Board of Finance for the next steps.
I'll make that motion, but just for clarification, Kevin, we only estimated 200,000. Okay. So I'll make the motion that we move forward with the lift to the Board of Finance for 228.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 3, act on adoption of purchase of corporate credit card policy. We've had some issues throughout the state.
Yes, and that's what's prompting it. Obviously, you've seen everything in the news with the P card policy. So to be a little proactive versus reactive, especially with new auditors, have a purchase and credit card. The main thing is the acknowledgement on the back where they sign off acknowledging that they have it, they will not use any personal expenses. It allows us to terminate them, reimburse the town, and it covers us.
Yeah,
It's a hot topic.
I support this policy because of that, because of the wake of obviously a recent governor candidate, but that's not the only time that ever happened. I'm sure many other towns have had discrepancies and issues with that. But this is a policy that, yes, it is good to, instead of being reactive all the time, to be proactive. So I do support having something like this in place. So it's very good.
I think they found 2 or 3 other towns recently. so-
They have. And actually now the comptroller wants any P card violations to be reported directly to him.
Mhm.
That went out on Big Friday last week, Thursday, Friday.
I agree with it. I'll make a motion to accept the new policy for the P card.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, go to other. Nothing there. Anything else to adjourn? Motion to adjourn.
Kevin, one thing under other, do we have any timeline on the ramp? I know a lot of citizens have been asking me. I know that the rails are out,
We're still waiting.
so we don't know if it might be sometime in August or September or anything like that.
It was at Powder last we heard.
Okay.
In that case, motion to adjourn.
They're asking about the rails.
Oh,
No, I didn't hear what he said.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Oh, last we were at was powder coating. Still waiting for the railing for powder coating.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
7:29.
Get into it.
Yep. WPCA meeting. Okay. All right, I'd like to call this Town of Plainfield special WPCA meeting to order for July 13th and do roll call.
Mike Supernaut.
Kevin Cunningham.
Tom Sinkwitz.
And then item C is to approve the minutes from the special WPCA meeting dated May 26, 26.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the special WPCA meeting dated May 26th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
New business, we would like to discuss and act on the NBC, the new contract for sludge disposal. We do have Stephanie here, so if you have any questions on what that is and how that process works. Should have in your packet there, item number 1.
Excuse me, on the agenda, didn't you have a public comment?
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
I just got one quick question. Back in September, it was mentioned, and I recently heard that we
Just for her, so you can give her name.
Robert Smith, that we bonded out $4 million for 2 clarifiers, we ended up with 1 for $4 million, so what
I
are
can
you
give
doing?
a very brief understanding of that. The cost factors are absolutely astronomical.
So where are we going with this as far as clarifying?
You wanna-
So we weren't happy with the prices that came in, we're re-going out to bid again. We're still trying to get 2 clarifiers, if the prices come in too high, there is a bid alternate for 1 clarifier. But as of now, we haven't awarded bid, it hasn't gone out to bid again for a second time. It is
So
still,
1 clarifier gonna be enough? Because from my understanding, the 2 old ones were inadequate, they weren't
yeah,
worth
so we have
building.
2 25-foot clarifiers, the goal was to demo them, get 2 50-foot. If we get 1 50-foot, we are gonna keep both the old clarifiers still, so we'll still be gaining double the
Now those have
capacity.
to be redone, and refixed.
They are gonna
Because
still be,
when we went out for the bid, we were told those are inadequate and needed to be replaced.
yeah, they're inadequate in size. They're still old and still functioning, but they're inadequate in size. So we'll still double our capacity with 1, but our long goal, if we have the money, would be to get 2 still.
Okay.
But it is in the floodplain, there is bedrock, there is an endangered species.
And the 2 are gonna be smaller than the 50, right?
Yeah, so I have 2 existing 25-foot ones. If the bid doesn't go through as we'd like it, those are gonna stay in place, still be in use, and we'll build a new 50-foot one, 50-foot one.
Okay,
Okay, that's good.
and now on to E1, discuss and act on the NBC new contract for sludge disposal.
First of all, I'd like to thank Stephanie. Obviously, she provides us with a lot of the documentation. She kept us up aware through the budget process. Everything that she does, I think is lights out. Thank you for everything. I'll make a motion for the sludge disposal, MBDC sludge disposal.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 2, discuss and approve line item transfers. There is a list in your packet for line item transfers, similar to that of the town budget.
I have no questions. You, Tom?
No.
I'll make a motion to accept the WPCA line item transfers as requested.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, item 3, discuss and act on the head work pump station replacement bid. So that was we've been trying to get things done under the gun, and by that I just got one statement. We had about over $770,000
$770,
that we had to expend, and that comes from our,
the remaining ARPA.
yeah. So even though we didn't have a meeting within the fiscal year, we still were able to, because of the cancellation, move forward for tonight. So it's important that we talk about these because we are expending the final numbers.
The 770, the bids went out prior to, and just your approval was in July, but because we had the cancellation and we had the bids dated June, I'm gonna be able to use it.
So that was that Friday. We had a few bids that day.
And it's your recommendation that we use, is it A1 home improvement? Is that what I'm seeing, Kevin?
Yeah, there's a
Or is it
essentially letter in.
And now,
Hold on.
Yeah, the letter from
You should get it from,
CHA should be in there with their recommendation is.
so what we do is we when we get the bids coming in, we ask our engineer what their recommendation will be. So that's what his recommendation is listed as.
I'll make a motion that we approve A1 home improvement for the bid amount of, I think it's 61,611.
Was it A1 or was it guaranteed roofing?
A1.
A1 was low. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. You are right.
That doesn't say.
Because it doesn't have the
Did you
guarantee.
read the letter? It says it was the one from Chuck Eaton.
No, I'm looking at the CHA that recommended.
I see the Chucky.
Yeah, that's it, CHA. So they were the lowest bidder, but the problem was they didn't go to the pre-bid. They're required to go to the pre-bid, that's why you.
Mandatory pre-bid.
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay.
So that's why it defaults down to number 2, and that's why you can see that other number there, which is guaranteed,
94,000. I'm sorry, so
94,000 even.
I'll retract my last. And I make a motion under the CHA's recommendation that we go with guaranteed roofing for a cost of 94,000.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, unfortunately on number 4, there were no bids. So we're gonna have to regroup and try to figure that out for the next fiscal year.
So you want to make a motion to table that?
Yeah, we're not gonna take any action at all, because we have to readdress that.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'll sit there in the old business forever.
Okay.
Item number 5 talks about the River Street wet well lining. It's not a really fun job, but it has to be done. So Stephanie stated that we should at minimum get it grouted. There were the 3 that came in. Stephanie's recommendation, because you had was it institute form,
Yes.
Savvy and Sons, and Precision. Steph, you have any input on the bid process and what everything went okay? Your recommendation was?
I just have 2 recommendations depending on what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable going over the $10,000 without having to go out to bid, then I vote we go with Savvy and Sons for the $6,000 and change for the grouting. If you're okay with the pricing I got, the best price to warranty ratio is the Precision Trenchless for the 10-year warranty for about $19,000.
This is one of the ones we did the informal bidding on. Wanted to get an idea of the pricing, but we're also up against the gun with the timeline.
Also, all linings are kind of different, slightly different thicknesses, slightly different materials. It's hard to get an apple to apple to apple.
So it's your recommendation to just get it all in one-stop shop, correct?
Yes.
And that is who and for how much?
Precision Trenchless had the best warranty price.
Yep.
To do the grouting and the lining. I know it's quite a bit.
Somewhere more common.
No. So it's your recommendation, so I move on your recommendation to go with Precision Trenchless for $19,413.
I can second that.
It's also a state bid.
Yep.
I didn't have that. I was missing it.
That's because I have a whole new package sitting right here.
Okay.
No.
That's why I didn't see it there.
Just for your record, have it for your records. Okay, did you get it?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'll give a second to review it,
No problem.
plus you have Stephanie's recommendation.
You see, Tom, on number 3 under Savvy and Sons, they were 20,216 for the same thing with a 10-year.
Yep, I see it. Yeah, no, I'm fine with going with the recommendations, just good now that we got this.
So any other discussion? So we have a motion and a second, because I second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, back to 6, I think is the last one. So we're doing the invitation to bid for the dry pit upgrade.
Yes.
There you should have the ones you just,
Yeah. So those were the 2 bids, if I'm correct. New England Environmental and Blake.
those are the 2.
Yes.
So, New England Environmental, just for the record, has come in with a bid of $20,666. Blake, out of East Windsor, came in with a final bid of
46,808. So it's also your recommendation that we go with New England Environmental Equipment?
Yes.
Do you have any questions, Tom?
No, I'll make that motion to go with New England Environmental Equipment.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No other item on the agenda, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 7:42.